Okay. So today we're going to talk about bad Facebook Marketplace purchases. So recently I was in the market for a new miter saw. There's really nothing wrong with my old one. It's just my stepdad also does projects, and as summer comes in, he's going to need the miter saw. And I have more business this year than what I have in previous years. So I also need the miter saw as well. So I decided I was going to make a new purchase and get a new miter saw. Of course, I don't have a lot of money. So I had a budget. And I saw an ad on Facebook Marketplace. Compound sliding miter saw, $100. I said, okay, that's worth the risk. I mean, that's $100. Certainly isn't a $400, $500 investment or risk on a piece of used equipment. But when you're buying something used, you know that there's always things that you should look for. Now, typically, you would just think to see, does it work? If I plug it in, will it turn on? So what you should always do, so we'll start off first before you even physically see the item. Okay, so when you're on the Messenger, because that's how it comes at first, usually when you're on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm sure this can go for any of those, aftermarket, secondhand market kind of things, So first, because these are all the things I should have done that I didn't do that would have saved me some aggravation. So the first thing that you should do, which I didn't do, is do a background check on the person. If you live in Pennsylvania like I do, I actually have an app on my phone. It's called PAE Dockets. And what it allows me to do is actually punch in a person's name and look to see if they have any criminal record. So if I would have done that first, I would have seen that the guy that I was buying this off from is a dangerous person. It's a very bad situation that I actually put myself into, not only myself, but my child and my mom. That is why I'm making this video. And so the very first thing you should always do is run some sort of background check or get an idea. Put the person's name into Google. Sometimes it'll come up in a police blotter thing on a local newspaper. You never know. So always scope the person out. I've bought a lot of things off of Marketplace and I've never done it. Now I will never buy another thing off of Marketplace without looking somebody up first. So that was the first red flag that, I didn't listen to. Well, I didn't, like I said, I didn't even have an idea at the time, right? And then, so of course, knowing that it was used, I did ask some proper questions, does it work? Why are you selling it? When was the last time you used it? You should ask what brand it is. For some reason, I only saw the DeWalt blade. And this is another thing too. Pay attention to your pictures and stuff. I saw the DeWalt blade and I assumed it was a DeWalt. Silly me. I was just so anxious to get, because I first was shocked by the $100 DeWalt. I thought, so just take your time and look at the post thoroughly, And so, I asked most of the proper questions that you would think to ask. And then the next thing you should definitely do is set up a public meeting place. Usually I do this for certain things, but tools, if you want to see them use them, it's really hard to see them, plug them in and use them in a parking lot. That's kind of tough. Now, what you could do is get like a converter. I don't know the proper word, but it's one of those things that you could probably plug into your cigarette lighter in your car and see if you can, get enough, because this is just a 2-prong. So if I needed to see if it would have plugged in a parking lot, I have one of those adapters for my car. I could have plugged it in and seen if it worked, So that's something to remember, is you can do that. So you should always pick a public place. And if the person doesn't want to do that, then it's okay. Pass on that piece of equipment and go on and wait for the right piece of equipment to come by. If they clear the background check and you've asked the right questions, you pick a public place, then you meet up. Now, if as soon as you see it, it is not what you thought it was, it is okay to say, I'm sorry, this is not the piece of equipment that I thought I was purchasing. If you want to say sorry for any inconvenience, you can. You don't really have to. That's just that's the nature of the sale. So I should have done that because, again, once I saw it, I knew it wasn't a DeWalt, but I was like, well, it looks like a nice piece of equipment. And he came down from $100 to $80. And so I said, okay, well, that's only $80. Okay. And he was coming down. That was another red flag. Usually if they're willing to chip money off just for no good reason, they're really trying to get rid of the piece of equipment. And so I should have walked away whenever I realized that it wasn't the saw that I thought it was. And then the area in which that I was in, as soon as I came back this road, I should have known. And also too, this is kind of like my running joke with this. And, again, I'm sorry if this does offend anybody, but, if your saw has more teeth than the person you're buying it from, it's okay to walk away from the purchase. That's, the person that I bought this from is not a good person. Definitely took advantage of me. Probably just because I was a girl for one, and then I seemed probably desperate because, I was excited about it. Those are all the major things, that I could think of that, I should not have purchased this saw, and I should not have walked away. But where I got hung up on and where I ignored all of my red flags that I've just talked about and everything is that I thought I put too much time and effort into getting this already, driving out to where I did, squeezing it into my schedule. I just didn't want to walk away empty-handed. And you know what? It's okay to walk away empty-handed sometimes, because I could have walked away empty-lifed. I know that is probably not the right terminology, but truly, the position that I put myself in with the person that I put myself in, it was a very awful position. The person was only just arrested in January for manufacturing methamphetamines. So that's what I mean about make sure that you do your due diligence as a consumer, as a person buying a secondhand product from some stranger you have no idea about. Because this is my first, I bought a lot of things, and this is my first everything went wrong kind of situation with a sale. And that's why I'm making this video, because I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, you're so, you're stupid and you should have known better. But yeah, sure, I should have known better. But I'm very smart, and I've been through a lot of things that, there's a lot of red flags that I saw that I should have listened to, and I didn't listen to my gut instinct. Listen to your gut instinct. Run background checks on people. It doesn't hurt. A lot of the time you can find something for free online to look somebody up. Like I said, just Google their name, something as simple as that. A lot of the time, if they're, in trouble, it's most likely in a newspaper somewhere. So long story short, don't get ripped off on the internet. Ask the questions, be cautious of everybody, and yeah. So the saw works for the most part. This doesn't go up and down. And the guy was a jerk about it. He said if I wanted a working saw, I should have bought a new one. So that's what I mean. do your due diligence and make sure that you know what you're buying before you purchase it. So, hope you learn from my lessons, and don't tear me up too bad, okay? We're all human and we all make mistakes. Luckily, this one's not an awful one. I can still use it. So, have a great day.